talk to me about, from your perspective, how this Iowa-Illinois rivalry is kind of maybe more so intensified over the last couple of years. Obviously, you and DeMonte Williams, there's that viral photo of you guys going forehead to forehead. And is it easy for you to kind of take the emotion out of, past instances in games with these guys going into Friday?
Yeah, I think you really just gotta focus on the game when it comes to it. You can't think about all that extra stuff. But if something arises, obviously we'll deal with it then. I think when it comes to the rivalry, I think it's just probably because we're both better than we have been. Like, I don't know, like I feel like we haven't both matched up for a little bit. Like they've kind of been like, this is like their up and coming team in terms of their what their fan base thinks and whatnot. Like they're really good, and us, we've had really good teams, but like this is the first time we've kind of both been at kind of like a peak, I guess you might say. So I think that's why you see all the tension and all the excitement heading up to the game. So I think that's what makes it fun.
Rick Brown.
Connor, as a guy who does a good job of setting up his teammates, what's it like to have be on the floor and have three guys who scored 1,000 points in college?
Yeah, I mean it makes it pretty easy to play. I mean, I think that with all three of them, and we play really well together too because we've been playing for so long together. I mean, we've played now. I mean, I've played with Joe and Jordan for I don't even know tons of years since elementary school, junior high. And Luca ever since even earlier than we got here because we went to some camps together. So I think the chemistry that we all have together is really, really good. And I think that it just makes it fun. Makes it fun for me. We have really good offensive stuff that we can go to each other with. And I think they just all bring so many different weapons that it makes it really hard to guard.
Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Connor, we saw when CJ was out the other day, Keegan took his spot in the lineup. I guess if that happens again Friday, how does that change things for you?
I'll go from the 4 to the 2 for one thing. So I'll be running different plays from different spots. So that's one of the things. And I would say other than that, I don't think it changes like a ton because I do think I'll still handle the ball. I'll still be somebody who is looking to set up everybody else. Keegan will step in and fill that role nicely. Playing really well, playing hard. He's picked us up, and so I think that just when it comes to the lineup, I'll have to adjust on who I'm guarding, and maybe be a little bit more aggressive here and there because CJ's out. We lose another offensive weapon, so I think a lot of things go into it, but I also think we'll adjust just fine.
John Schaefer.
How long is 8 days for a basketball player to have off in your guys' mind?
I mean, it definitely feels like a long time, but at the same time, I think that we've had some really good practices in there, and we've had a couple off days to the point where it just kind of felt like, and it was over break too. So we kind of have we get into a routine over break where it's pretty much the same schedule every day, to be honest with you. So whether or not we're playing, yes, it does feel weird, but at the same time, we're so worked into a routine that I wouldn't even say, you necessarily notice 100%, how long it is in between days. Now that we're back in school, it'll change up the routine, and now, we're getting back into games, so it'll be a little bit more normal. But I do think that, the way that we handle our business over break and within that season, over winter break is just it's just something already set in stone. So whether or not we're playing, it doesn't change a whole lot for us. We're just going to do our business the same way.
Jarek, go ahead.
Hey Connor, between you guys ended the season with a loss against them last year, and then coming off a tough loss against Indiana, and then like you said, you guys are sort of coming at each other with your peaks between Iowa and Illinois. Do you feel like there are more external motivations in this game? Is it a bit harder to treat it as business as usual?
I would say, this game is definitely hyped up a little bit more than some of our other games. I think not having fans there makes it hard. I think that creates a different environment. Obviously, I'd like to play it with fans, but I do think that, like you said, everything else going on, I think that there might be a little bit extra motivation built into this one, just because of kind of like the rivalry that everyone's built it up to be. I've said this before, like growing up here, Illinois was never like a rival for me. It was like Iowa State, UNI, even like you even would take like Wisconsin, in my opinion, like over them. I feel like Iowa like has a lot of different rivalries. Some are different in basketball and football. Like the football team has all the trophies, but we, like growing up for me, it was different. But now that I'm here, this game is taken more seriously than some of the other ones. So I think that it's just a game that, obviously, like you said, there's external factors that build into the motivation for the game, and it makes it intense and competitive and fun.
Tom Kakert.
Connor, 8 days is a long time to sit with a loss on your mind. How have you kind of processed that and without being able to get back on the court, kind of get rid of that?
Yeah, I think the one way that we've really handled it is by practicing hard. We've had some good practices where we've really gotten after it, because that having that feeling is always, it's not a good feeling in your stomach after a game. So being able to come into practice and really get after it is a good feeling. Maybe a quicker turnaround might have been better, just because you get out there and you kind of have a short memory maybe. But I would say either way, you got to go into your business, go into practice every day with the same intensity, and I think that we've handled that pretty well.
Chad Leistko.
Hey Connor, just curious, like since the last game of last season happened to be in Champaign and then your season got cut short, does that imagery, I guess, of that particular game, has that stuck with you guys, I guess, throughout the off season?
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone remembers that game, vividly. It was just it was a really good game, to be honest with you. We got down, that fight back at the end. I thought we had a good chance. So I think that's kind of been one that's been talked about. I think people forget all of the other stuff that goes on once rivalry games are kind of a thing. Like I think all other factors go out the window. But coming into this game, I think that we just have we're gonna have a game plan on our minds. We'll be ready for whatever they throw at us, and I'm looking forward to it.
Mike Halas.
I think you're still on mute. There we go.
Okay, well, I had to do that
There
once.
we go. Yeah.
Sorry about that. As a competitor, are you glad when players like Coburn and DeSunmu come back instead of go pro maybe earlier than they could have or did?
Yeah, no, I think that them coming back, obviously, like I saw tweets, the day after they decided to come back, like, wow, can't wait for the Iowa-Illinois matchup, and that was that was over the summer, so that was like 5 months in anticipation, I feel like. So, I think that, them coming back, it makes people look forward to this matchup, and I think that, it just brings that much more to the game. And but you see that all around the country with other players, guys coming back and wanting to do something for their team, and so you see guys like them doing it. There's guys all over the league doing it. Livers came back from Michigan. Luka obviously coming back here. And I mean, there's guys, Trace Jackson Davis coming back. There's all different types of players that have come back and created made a statement for their program, and I think that it makes it fun.
And the final question comes from John Schaefer. Go ahead, John.
I know we're in the throes of basketball season, but baseball-wise, what kind of happens with you as we start nearing the start of the season for that, and is that something you're still going to keep going with this year?
Yeah, so that's been something I've kind of struggled with, because we really have kind of tried to keep a really tight-knit group here with basketball. We've really kind of tried to stay within ourselves, and keep the same social circle. So with me, trying to juggle that with going around the baseball guys, it makes it tough. At the end of the fall season, I started kind of on a different schedule than everybody else on the baseball team, because I was just trying to limit my exposures to different people. And I think that and they've been really helpful with that too. They've been understanding, and it's made it easier on me. So I think that moving forward, I'm expecting at some point I'll be able to really go back to normal and have a plan and kind of get into everything that I want to. But as of right now, I've still kind of been somewhat trying to keep my distance and just keep my circle kind of tight up to this point.
All right, thanks, Connor.